From SBI's Executive Briefing Center in Dallas, Texas, the most watched and listened to content in B2B sales and marketing, it's the SBI Podcast.
Welcome to SBI TV, the weekly show dedicated to helping you make your number. On today's show, I have the pleasure of hosting members of the RightStar Alliance. This is a group founded by three firms that recognize that together they offer more value to some private equity firms than each of the individual firms. With me today are Brina Garrett, CEO of the Sustaina Group, and her partner Brian Jenkins. Sustaina is a firm focused on naming, branding, and positioning of B2B companies. Adrian Barrick, VP of Partnerships at OpFocus, a company dedicated to implementation of sales and marketing tech stacks, and SBI's own Ellen Wade, an engagement manager focused on driving revenue growth for PE-backed portfolio companies and equity value for private equity firms. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Mike, if I recall, this brainchild was one of yours that you had when you were on the PE side of the business. You want to tell us a little bit about your thinking there?
Yeah, and thanks for the reminder of this, Brina. So yeah, back in my private equity days as an operating partner, one of the challenges that we would run into is that on a go-to-market work streams, you know, I was a client of SBI, but recognized that SBI didn't do everything. They didn't do the branding piece of it, and they certainly didn't do the tech stack pieces of it. And what we saw was that the communication, so there was a duplication of effort first, where you'd have different firms that were due diligencing and doing discovery on the same things, which took time. And then the communication between the firms, because there was handoff, that took even more time. And when you're looking at a delay, when you added it all up, it could be 2 months. And with an investment for a horizon of 3 to 4 years, 2 months is an eternity and could be the difference between kind of recognizing the investment thesis on a growth thesis and not getting there. And so that was a little bit around the thought. And so as soon as I got to SBI, already recognized that there were some partners that could work well together, and with this alliance, I think it was able to bring those groups together to execute more effectively on go-to-market for private equity-backed portfolio companies. So, you know, let me pull the group. Adrian, any thoughts from you on the formation of the RightStar Alliance?
Well, what really strikes me about it, Mike, is that each firm within the RightStar Alliance is hyper-focused on their core competency. You know, none of us are trying to be a jack of all trades, master of none, and we see that sometimes with larger consultancies. So with each firm being hyper-focused on their discipline, and you know, we can deliver best practice and quality for each of our respective work streams. And then by working together, we're driving economies of scale and speed to execution for clients and PE investors.
Good. Ellen, you spend most of your time on site with clients delivering projects. What's your perspective on this in the RightStar Alliance?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. So there's definitely three things that I think the Alliance brings to our clients. Number one is speed to benefit. So all of those reasons that you mentioned earlier with the investment thesis. Number two is about capability. So there might be certain things that you need to do one time. That could be something like a brand rename or a Salesforce implementation or a purchase intent model. You don't want to do those every month. So by bringing in external capability to help you, you can achieve those goals. The third is actually capacity. So there are certain things that you can do internally, but what we see is that often you want those done faster. So that's how the RightStar Alliance can help you as well.
Great, good perspective. So Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having us.
And some of your thoughts?
Sure. It's really about the engagement philosophy that RightStar has as an alliance. Our engagement philosophy with RightStar really comes down to a client's needs. We look at it in two ways. One, if it's a PE firm that we don't have a relationship with, and our joint approach matches their investment philosophy or their investment strategy, then we'll approach it as a joint, as a collective. But if it's a PE firm that one of our firms have a relationship with, what we'll do is we'll keep an eye out for those opportunities where one of the other members of the alliance is really well suited and can really step in. You know, what we have here is trust and knowledge in each other's firms. So when that's an opportunity that one of the members of the alliance can better deliver an aspect of the project that we wouldn't do, we'll bring them in. And that best-of-breed approach really matches the idea that a lot of PE firms are investing with these days. But the difference is our best-of-breed approach is linked with the cohesion that each of these firms bring together.
Right, and I think that's a really good point. The point is that everybody's going to represent the interest of the client and what's best for the client because of the level of trust that exists between the firms. Good. So I think it would be nice to get a little bit of insight into each of the firms and maybe an overview. So who wants to go first?
I'll take the bait.
All right, Brina.
19 years ago, we founded Sustaina, and our first client was a private equity firm. So from then on, we realized that this is the way to go, and the market's kind of caught up with us. But our focus is brand development, naming, positioning, messaging for B2B portfolio companies. And the thing that makes the RightStar Alliance special for us is what we establish from the beginning needs to cascade downstream. So as an example, if we're doing the market positioning and the sales strategy and sales process isn't aligned, then it's of less value. And so the collaborating with SBI is incredibly important to us. So that's one of the great things about the Alliance.
Great. Adrian?
Yeah, so OpFocus is a tech consultancy, and as our CEO likes to say, the focus of OpFocus is inspiring and enabling operational excellence. And so what do I mean by that? Operational excellence to us is within the go-to-market tech stack, the systems, data, process, people, and reporting, kind of getting that optimized and aligned to support the go-to-market tech stack, which in turn drives growth at B2B companies.
Great, thank you. Ellen, SBI perspective on this, and a little bit about how SBI aligns to OpFocus and Sustaina?
Yep, Mike, so SBI is a strategic management consulting firm focused on revenue growth. And why that's so important when it comes to the Alliance is that everything that we think about when we think about strategy needs to actually be executed in the market and also in the field. So this alliance and the trust that we've built with our partnership here allows us to really accomplish three things. The first is that cohesive and complete go-to-market strategy. The second is an excellent client experience. There's been many times where we work with other consulting firms, and just given the amount of time it demands from the clients and the different pieces of direction they have to give to all of the firms at different times, it can be a less than optimal client experience. And then the third is ultimately the time to benefit. So we're able to work cohesively in our discovery processes and also work together with the client's schedule in order to realize benefit more quickly than you would as single piece parts.
Makes sense. So, final one or two words describing the RightStar Alliance. Brina?
I'll take two.
All right, you can have two words.
Thank you. Value creation.
Value creation. Brian?
Cohesiveness.
Alignment.
And mine is speed.
Speed. Right, good. I think for anyone out there in our audience, if you're looking at or struggling with what does a go-to-market, a complete go-to-market work stream look like when you want to pull that together and all of the different pieces, I think look no further than the RightStar Alliance and the wonderful group of people that we have here. And thank you. That was a great show, everybody.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you for your time and insights, and we want to thank the SBI audience for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. As always, until next time, I wish you good luck as you try and make your number.
This has been the SBI Podcast. For more information on the studio, SBI's Executive Briefing Center, our team, or to schedule a workshop, please visit salesbenchmarkindex.com.